Hello, everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu, and you're tuning into episode 23 of the TLOY Talks podcast. Today is like a legendary one for me today and all that, because I've known this guy like since high school, and I've known like the crew for a little bit too, like from Facebook and from the other stuff back then. So, about this crew, this was a legendary former dance crew that did like a lot of well known jerking and like dancing videos and all that with contemporary hip hop. They've released all their videos like on YouTube and all that. The group amassed up between like 5 to 6 members, including legendary member Just John, and they've been showcased all over Much Music, as well as through other brands too, as well as like the Boogie music video. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Suave and Tune of the Happy Feet Dance Crew. How are you guys doing, man?
Good,
Fooling,
good,
fooling,
good. Happy to
fooling.
be here. Happy to be
Yep,
here.
Yeah,
yep,
man.
yep, yep.
Suave. Like I knew you since high school and all that. Like I still call you like Carlos either way, but like I gotta
Yes,
call you like
sir.
Suave
It's
for
all
the
good.
respect and all that,
Sorry,
So
Carlos, whatever you want. It's
yeah,
all good,
man.
man.
But yeah, like I've known you like since high school for a bit too, like just like from interacting with each other, like being in like some clubs and all that. So it's like kind of
Mhm.
interesting from there and all that. But
Yeah.
like Tune, also nice to meet you, bro. And
Mm,
I want to get to know more about you, like for the audience. So
yeah.
tell us more about yourselves and like give an introduction to who you are to the viewers in that sense.
Okay, okay.
Well, I guess I'll start. My name is Carlos. Carlos, aka Suave Casero. Man, introduction about myself. I hate doing these, but you know, man from the West End, pretty much.
Yeah.
Been dancing since I don't know, age of 5. Been loving that music all around me, and that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? It's your boy Toon, also known as Sheldon, which I don't really like to say, but like you already know, Toon. Toon is in the house. You already know Toon Cake. Toon because my animated personality and I like to joke around, and then cake means like, I like a lot of sweet things. Also, I'm viewed as being sweet, so why not? You know?
Yeah.
Um, I've been dancing since I was like 9 years old. Is when I started to like transition, and I just wanted to move, but I just didn't know how to move. So, you know what I mean? From Scarborough, Ontario, and yeah, I've been here ever since. Just to venture around the city, and I've met all types of faces, and yeah, I could get along with just about anybody. You know what I mean? Unless if they're closed minded and stuck up and just yeah, then you could stay over there though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, most definitely, man. Like, thank you guys for coming today and all that. I want to get it started for a bit too. So,
Mhm.
I know you grew up in the West End, man, and like you talked about growing up in Scarborough, but like, what was like the environments like for you growing up as like kids? Would you say that your childhoods were like blessed back then, or would it be different?
My childhood would be blessed back then. I don't know, compared to then to now, right?
Yeah,
So basically, from back then, I would say it's better in some aspects, and then it's not so good in some aspects. But back in the day, I had a lot of street smarts, so I know where to go and not to go, and who to really associate myself with. And for the most part, I was always the type of character that just kept to myself and didn't really want to, associate myself with anybody or anything. You know what I mean? So fast forward to now, I would say, I don't know. Now it's kind of weird, man. People are just so heavily driven by social media, and it's just annoying, man. Like you can't pass a person or even talk to a person without them staring into their phone. It's like people so, antisocial versus back then everyone was just like, and all in your face and just talkative and not so completely sectioned off in their own worlds and yeah.
yeah.
So the question was like, how was it like back then, right, compared to now in your neighborhood?
Yeah. Like, how
Yeah.
was like your childhood like back then?
Y- you know, um, Coming from a European background, because I used to live in Netherlands before I moved to Toronto, right? Life then was obviously different because as a kid, you want to be outside. You want to do like kid shit, like play sport games or play tag or play like whatever game you could think of, manhunt, cops and robbers, whatever, whatever
Yeah.
games everybody our age would know. We used to love doing stuff like that, and then I moved to Toronto back in like 2000, and I didn't really think of any of it, like because again, as we all know, the streets was talking, but when you're a kid, you don't really see it, or even if you do see, it, you don't really like acknowledge or get into it, get involved into it. And looking at it now, like I feel like I was blessed because of that, because we actually get to experience these type of like um, lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? And now it's like now everybody wants to stay inside,
Yeah.
right? Because of the fact that like now we have this thing where you have youths who want to obviously make something of themselves, but there are some who want to do it in a bad way, right? And that's one thing that is scary now because like then we all used to have fun. Like we can go places, know people, have fun, and do this and do that. But now it's like we're cautious. Now we don't know if you want to do that because of who's going to be there and stuff like that, right? So that's just how I look at it as.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. I definitely agree too because I think social media back then it was kind of like non-existent, like back in the '90s, 2000s, sort of like late 2000s too, because like you really had to be outside to do like a lot of stuff too, and like even like with the music and dancing back then, it was like very like different, like it was like word of mouth or like flyers like all of the city and all that, so
Yep.
like even in these like areas that you grew up in, because I know Scarborough, like it was like well known musically back then, and like the West End, you had like many ends like Rexdale and like Jane and Finch, popping back then. But then
Hmm.
like the certain West End to like Pelham Park and all that, and like Dundas and Bloor, like around these ends, would you say that those ends like and even like Scarborough were big like in dance and music back then in terms of being industry ends or just as a community?
Um, we're talking dance scenes, definitely. Especially me being in going to a Catholic school, right? There was a lot of like dance competitions, and it was actually like I think it was like a West and East where like we would all
Yeah,
compete together, right?
yeah, man.
Um, back in my time, like going to high school, there was this thing called GPAD. It's called Give Peace a Dance,
Yeah,
where everybody wanted to be there because
yeah,
number one, it's at an all girl school, of course, Colorado, and that's where you kind of like it's like before what do you call it?
like before like the MySpace era, like that type of stuff
It's
too.
pretty much like if you want to make something of yourself or if you are known, that's where you go.
Oh, true, true.
If that makes any sense. Because
Yeah,
like Moonrunners, for example, that's how I knew Moonrunners because they used to go to GPAT every year and they would perform every year,
yeah,
or they would have like big crews like C2 Genesis or I can't really name any other crews, but from what
yeah,
I remember back in those times, like
yeah,
going to that was big. And um another thing I remember like in the West End was I forgot where exactly it was at, but it was an after school program, dance program every I think it was Monday and Wednesday, run by a another OG in the city called Busy Boom. He like used to have like these like classes happening all the time, and that was like a big deal too, because almost everybody would be there as well. So I think that for me was like one of the big things in the West. And then also you have
yeah,
like the dance studios, and again, Moonrunners, they had like their workshops and battles and all that stuff. Like that's what I remember from those
yeah.
times. So
Most definitely, man.
yeah.
Well, basically emphasizing on what Lo said is that there's like a lot of big dance scenes on my side. Like from what I've dealt with is basically like jams, dance hall, like crews like Rated X. I don't know if you know about Rated X. Rated X was
Oh
like
my
big,
god.
big on Much Music,
Yeah.
and they all like dance. They got bear girls, bear
Yep.
groupies. It was just there was a whole vibe, and I knew one of the members, and I'm just like, this is what you're doing, and I'm just like, what? I'm
With
just like,
Blake.
wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, most definitely.
Like yeah, those guys, and then I went to a lot of like house parties, and then there was like jam after jam, and then there was this called Young
Basically.
Forever, Canada Meets America. So like that's
Ooh.
kind of like the
Oh
scene that
yeah.
that
I
I was
remember
into,
that.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
then everyone was like had their own sauce, their own flavor, and this like that. You know what I mean? And then I came in with my wacky tune like personality. So like my moves whenever I dance like it's like based off of like I'm heavily influenced by a lot of anime, a lot of cartoons, a lot
yeah,
of animated features. So I
Yeah.
like to make a lot of faces and everything. Because like, especially when you're in a dance battle, you gotta show them that like,
Yeah.
you mean business. And you
Yeah.
get up in that person's face,
Yeah.
like, I'm the shit, you're not. Like, you suck. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
So that's how I was. That's how it was back then. And then you know what I mean. Some people will get jealous. People will try to shoot up the spot
Yup.
and things. And a man will come to you saying that you took their girl or their girls. Like mans will try to claim
Yeah.
property over their women. It's like, bro, it's like it's a
Suspect.
party. If the girl's gonna cater to me
Then
towards me, then that's
let it
that's
be.
that's
Yeah, exactly, bro.
you know what I mean. I didn't do anything. I'm just dancing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy,
Yeah,
yo.
yeah, man. Like, I mean, around those times, like, they were crazy back then too, because like the jerking era was like a crazy thing back then in like the late 2000s, like early 2010s, and like a lot of like dances nowadays were incorporating like a lot of stuff, like like the Baltimore like dance scene, like the Jersey dance scene, like all that type of stuff too. So it was like coming straight to Toronto, even with the contemporary like hip hop and all that, and like I know that you mentioned that you got into dancing at the age of 8. But what were like, your other introductions to like music and dancing, and like how you guys like got into dancing, and what made you decide on wanting to take it to the next level?
Okay. All right. So basically, I'm a child of God, and I grew up being a Christian. Grew up in the church like every Sunday. There was not a Sunday where my mom's like, "No, you have to get ready to go to church. You have to go to church. Live righteously, hunting." But anyways, that's what it was. So I was surrounded. I was always with music. I was always surrounded by music. They always played good tunes, and you know how the Jamaicans they
Yeah,
get down,
yeah,
like you know what I
exactly,
mean.
man.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's always some teams who be like glory, hallelujah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so with that, like there's always like they would play certain songs and certain melodies, and I would just want to move to it, and I just didn't know how to just move to it until one Sunday I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna do whatever however the song sounds to me, I'm going to reenact it in my own being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just did that. And then from that point, everything was like different. Like the girls of the church never really were attracted to me. We're all like, and they were like, huh? It's like, what? And then we would have like conventions where like a bunch of churches and such will come to the church and whatnot. And then I would even be more egged on to dance. So, and then I would dance and certain things, and then everyone in the congregation's watching me while the service is going, and everyone dance. I'm like, yo, I'm not the, the pastor
Yeah,
up on the
exactly.
pulpit and
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
but
yeah.
everyone's watching me.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, it was a whole vibe. So that's how, I got introduced to music and dance and all that. And then from there,
And then when you took it to like the next level, with making it into like a career and all that.
basically it happened when I went to the school dance, right? And I wanted to impress this girl. Her name was Jamie, right? I had the
Yeah.
hugest crush on her. Like I was just crazy for
Yeah.
blondes. I'm just like blondes made me like, I'm gonna attack like a raging bull. Anyways, so I was trying to impress her, right? And then the song that came on was it was Ja Rule that was popping at the time. It was like early 2000s. So it's like I think it was like with J Rule, cause I'm real. The way you walk, the way you talk, so that track was going, right? And then I'm just like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. So I'm just like trying to enact it. And then I grab her and I'm just like, vibing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then me, the crowd was forming around the school. I'm just like, no. In the gym, I'm just like, no. So I feel my heart's like, nope,
Yeah.
nope. I can't
Yeah.
do this. I can't do this. I was like, oh my God. And then the girl, Jamie, she felt nice. Like, yo, everyone was jealous.
Yeah.
Everyone was jealous. Everyone was like, oh my God. And then the slow songs came out and I started dancing. And I was like, yeah, it was game over from there. And then from that point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna really, go through with this. And then I started looking at YouTube videos and try to incorporate like break
exactly.
dancing.
Yeah, man.
There was even the funny thing is that at my church and during the conventions, is that there was a break dancer that came to the church, but he only freestyled in the basement. Right? So they would play like certain songs,
Yeah.
right? And then the music was so loud because you know how black people get down.
Yeah.
It was booming all the way to the basement. So the basement's like boom, 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 boom. And then the man's just freestyling. So you know what I mean? From once those two events happened, the dance and the gospel and everything, I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm doing
Exactly,
this.
man.
This
Exactly,
is
man.
me. With me, pretty much pretty much the same with as Toon. I wasn't that big on going to church, but there was church music being played at my house. Like my mom used to like make us listen to Yolanda Adams, you know what I'm saying? And Mary
Ah,
Mary, Craig Franklin. Imagine
ah.
we're living in Europe while doing this too, right? So
Mm.
um I I would say I was lucky because I was introduced to almost every genre in my house. Because at that time, like MTV was everything. Like everything. So it don't matter who was on, rather it's rather it's Tupac or NSYNC, Coldplay, like Michael Jackson, James Brown, like anything that plays in our house, we're dancing to it. And then we would always dance at the family functions. They always would do the whole thing where they play like because I'm from Angola too, right? So we have like our dance genre is called kuduru.
Yeah.
So and once that circle opens up, you gotta do something. It's like you can stand there, but something is gonna want to motivate you to do something,
Yeah, exactly, man.
And
Yep.
and then when I moved here to Toronto, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in my life. I'm being dead honest because yeah, even though dancing was part of the DNA in the family, there's also soccer.
Yeah.
Living in Europe, every man is pretty much gonna want to be a soccer player. That's
Yeah.
that's no joke. And then when I moved here, there wasn't really that much people following that sport. It was
Yeah.
either hockey or basketball, which those are my weakest sports. But I still love playing. I still love watching it.
Yeah.
But then with me, it's like I moved around a lot. First when I moved there, I lived in by Regent Park, and then I went to Vaughan and Oakwood. And when I moved to the neighborhood that I'm at now, that's where you could say I was discovered. Like I discovered it myself. And how that started with was like I was like when I moved, like I was a loner. Like I wasn't really talking to many people that I knew. And I was still my English wasn't still the greatest. So like for me to kind of like prosper and try to talk to people, it wasn't really hidden,
Yeah.
until the talent show came, right? And
Talent shows.
and talent show that again, that's where you have to like make a name for yourself,
Exactly, man.
And it was like at first they had like a bunch of people doing it. It was like they had one male group here, one girl group here, and I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, where am I gonna fit in this? But I was really like a lone wolf. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then I guess like a week or two or a month goes by, and then they talk about, oh, today's the talent show, so
Yeah.
if anybody still wants to register for it, please let us know. Da 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 da. And at this point, I kind of like we had school dances in elementary
Yeah.
school, right? I was moving on one too, and people were kind of looking like, "Oh shit, you can actually dance! Like that's dope, right?"
Exactly.
And I, I had because I was in grade 7 at the time, and in grade 8, I had these two girls that who knew I could do it, and their names was Hilda and Yvette, right? And they were the host of the talent show. So once I approached them, be like, "Hey, listen, can I register?" They were like, "Yeah, say no more, because we're putting you in this." Mind you, I did not practice.
Hmm.
I didn't practice at all. I just went home, grabbed those long XL white tees. You know how back then we used to love rocking those.
Yeah.
Franchise boy.
Franchise boys. So
Yeah.
like, I just went home, grabbed the white tee. I had these track and field yellow and blue Pumas, because I never really had like the swag like
Yeah.
that everybody had
Yeah.
back then. So I had that, and then I just did my thing, and at that time that was when Omarion was big, like when he went solo. So whenever the song "Touch" came on, touch, you know what I'm saying? So when that song came on, I had to do it to that song. So when after me performing, that was like when everybody knew who I was. And then came high school. I was also trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna bring that energy from elementary school to high school, because it's a different ball game now.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, okay, now I should join crews or do whatever I can. And again, like um going to events, the Y jams, the basement jams. I just started dancing, because then because I started off as hip hop and then I was adapting to dance hall and then because once dance hall came in at that time, like oh you had to be in
Yeah.
it because if you weren't in it then you were lost, and
Facts.
thankfully for that, like it was definitely like a good time at that time. So and then high school came around, I was doing it all through 4 or 5,
The
6,
Sean
7
Paul
years,
times, yeah.
7 years of high school, whatever
Yeah.
you could say. And then I guess honestly, like I took it to a really, really big level, honestly, when I met these guys, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah,
Most definitely.
most definitely.
And I think we're just like at the pinnacle of this right now.
Mhm.
So the Happy Feet dance group, because this is the important part right now. How did that form, and how did you guys manage to meet and know each other?
Okay. It all started with one day, you know, I was done high school. I was actually finished high school. And I just had to get a few more 1, 2 credits. So I wasn't really all too worried. I decided to go downtown and treat myself. I was working too, so I made a bunch of bread. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go treat myself, right? This was around the time where You're a Jerk came out and that such and such. And I was like learning a bunch of moves and stuff like that. And I changed my whole wardrobe. I went from back in the early 2000s, I would have like basketball jerseys, bathing ape, the big babe,
Yeah.
G Unit,
Yeah.
the G Unit clothing line, all of that, the gorilla tees, all them thing there. And then I was like transitioning from that, like from FUBU to like Vans and things. So
Yeah.
and so I went downtown, right? I was like, it was like my second time downtown, and I'm just like, yo, I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be lost. So I'm walking along the Queen Street, the Queen Strip, right? And I go into the store called Bang On, and it's like you could customize your own like shirts
Yeah,
and whatever,
shit.
whatever. So you
Bang
post
On,
your own
yeah.
thing. I have to, it's Toon time, my little
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, shit.
So as I'm like looking for a shirt and I, customize a shirt, these two guys walk in and then they're dressed like me, skinny jeans and everything. It's because that's around like Your Jerk was popping.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I don't know if these guys are actual dancers or jerkers or even, you know, people that are just like hopping the wave at the time, because there's a lot of those types of people that
Yeah,
just hop the
exactly,
wave
man.
and then they just jump off after it subsides
Yeah,
and then a
no.
new wave happens,
Yeah, most
Mhm.
definitely.
Mhm.
So I'm staring at one guy, like Shannon, abstract. And then he looks back at me, he's like, what's this? This guy's weird, whatever. And then they're talking. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna be shy. I'm just gonna say, I'm just like, yo, do you guys jerk? And he's like, yeah, we do. I'm like, you're a jerk. And he's like, yeah. And then we just went into full blown conversation. You know how you just meet those people and you
Yep.
just go
Yeah.
Yep.
instantly. So that's what happened. And then we're just like, yeah, let's keep in touch, exchange numbers, everything. And then that was it, right? And then it was just like, we called each other. It's like, yo, we have to think of a name. We have to think of a name. And then we went with a whole bunch of names like Master Jerks and, some nerd jerks, some
Oh,
stupidness, foolishness. I'm like, those are just didn't really sit well.
Yeah.
And then we did some like videos. We went in the basement. We went in the hallway. Like, you know what I mean? And then we came up with Happy Feet. And I was like, yeah, that's what we should do, Happy Feet, because jerking
For sure.
consists in the footwork and this and that. And then everyone was on board, you know? And then after that came in like the forming of the group. And I got a random call one day, like after school times. And it's like, yo, come to the school, come to school. And I come to the school, right? We're gonna shoot our first video. Come to the school. Tell me how I come to the school. I'm already having fangirls looking at me. It's like, that's
Yeah.
I'm like walking through the school. I'm like, what the hell? We didn't even make a freaking video yet. Like, how are people
Yeah.
knowing me? So go there, and then we all link up, and then it's like the crew had like 13 people in the beginning. Like, it was huge. But there's like, we were surrounded by girls, like the whole, you know how when you
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
in a high school
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this locker's like, girls,
True.
movie thing.
Yeah.
I'm just walking in the middle like, whoa. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm shy. I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, this is crazy. This is just our first video and we're getting clout like this.
Already.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we made the crew was formed. We made our first video and everything. The first video just popped immediately. And then, whatchamacallit, we started getting a name for ourselves. People start talking. The internet was talking. Facebook was talking. And then from there, it's just like all these other crews just came out of the woodwork. It's like Fresh Kids, Fly, friggin' Super Duper Jerks, and Canadian and Canada Jerks, and all these types of crews and things like that. Crews from Windsor, crews from Jane. There was actually a crew from Jane and Finch, but they were kind of scared to dance because what they were surrounded by. You know what I mean? So they kind of catered to us, and then. But yeah, all I'm saying was there's all these crews that are coming out the woodwork, and the majority of them had beef with us. For some reason, they didn't like us, didn't like the way we dressed. And it's like, wait, we dress like jerks, but we just dress different than you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everyone just, the thing is that everyone had their own different sauce that they brought to the table and their different style, So when we had a 13 group, like a 13-man group, it started to subside down because we started to see who was really with the group to dance and make a name for ourselves versus who was just like clout and just want groupies and girls and this and that and never really were serious in the first place, and they didn't even know what to do besides the rejects. Like, what? No, bro, you're not a dancer. You're a clout chaser. Stop it. But yeah. And then we chopped down, the group chopped down from 13 to 8 to 7 to 6. And yeah, and that's how Happy Feet got big. And then we used to just dance randomly downtown. As soon as we start dancing on that square, crowds form. Doesn't matter where we go in the subway, we're in the train, people are watching. Like, you know what I mean? And we got a huge following. We had people hating, we had girls loving us, we had guys hating us. Like, here's another good example. It was like Christmas Eve. Me and just Abstract, just two members go inside Eaton Center. We go inside Eaton Center, right? They're just goon, we call them the baggy daddies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's just grilling. He's grilling. He's like, look at these guys. Their waist, da, da, da. And then there's a bunch of girls hanging out with him. The girl turns around and says, oh my God, Toon. And I'm just like, oh, hey. And the man's like, oh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yo.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, man.
Oh shit. Never mind.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
Well, yeah. And then after that was it, yo. Yeah.
Wow, most definitely, man. Same thing for you, Carlos?
Fuck. So how did I came in the crew? Oh man, this is like.
Oh, I forgot to add that part, by the way.
Which part?
The part where you get into the crew.
Not even
But
work.
that's literally after that happened.
Yeah, nah, most definitely, man.
My introduction with these guys is the most interesting one, where it's like, I met somebody who had a crew already, right? And they wanted me to be part of their crew. And they're like, yo, we're going to a what is it that you guys had at downtown behind Enos Center when we first met? Where you guys had like we guys invited all the crews.
Oh, it was actually a music video, to be honest. Yes,
Yeah,
that's how we met. It was a music video, right?
It wasn't a music. You guys had like it's like your own event where you called out all the crews. And
Oh yeah,
everybody
no,
came in.
no. Scratch that. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else because there was a music video that we did, and there was other crew, but it was like a crump crew, and then it was like when Honey Cocaine was popping at the time.
Nah, exactly.
She was there, and then some other guys, and then you know what I mean. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's a different video.
Yeah, so
The video where we met Carlos was when we did Team Canada. So
Yeah.
basically
Team
we
Canada.
combined all the jerk crews, combined all styles. I'm just like, go, come here, dance,
Yeah,
everyone.
exactly, man.
We just make a big video, squash the beef. That's what the main
Yeah.
purpose of the video was, to squash the beef.
that's what that video was for.
Yeah,
Okay, because
exactly.
no wonder why Fly Ones was there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got the invite from this other crew, and this guy was like, "Yo, you should be part of my crew." Like, yo,
Yeah.
we're gonna go to the spot. I'm like, "All right, cool." But the joke was, I kind of like what he was saying about his former
Yeah.
crew members. I only knew a little bit,
Yeah.
but I still came in presenting myself. So now when I'm there, I'm thinking, okay, yo, there's a bunch of people here. This is crazy, right? And then I was confused at first because when we came in, everybody had to be kind of quiet because you guys were shooting. When you guys were walking, saying like, yo,
Yeah.
Happy Feet, Team Canada, da 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 da. And then everybody got down. Once I saw everybody got down, I was just like, yo, this is something else. Like, I fucks with this heavy. And then I was just like, absorbing it, like just watching, because I'm not
exactly,
even.
man.
I don't. Again, I don't jerk, but watching all these guys get down is amazing to me, you know.
Yeah.
But one of the members, Fro, I think was Fro's idea to change. Like he was like, "Yo, we got some crumpets here. We got like hip hop dancers, so
Yeah,
let's switch
exactly.
the scenario a little bit." And I
Yeah.
think that's when I stepped in. And when I stepped in, I did my thing. You know what I mean? And I guess when I did my thing, everybody was amazed by it because they're like, "Yo, who the fuck is this guy?"
True,
Because
true.
everybody kind of knew each
True,
other.
true.
I was really the new kid on the block, right? And then I remember after, you can even see it in the video, like after me done freestyling, John came up to me, was like, "Yo, you're sick." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "Yeah." So after that, I dipped, and then I didn't really. I saw John like once in a while.
Yeah,
Like he
nah,
used to
most
work
definitely,
at
yeah.
was it American something?
American Apparel.
American
Yeah.
Apparel. He used to work at American Apparel, right? So like I would see John a lot, but like we never really talk much. Just be like, "Yo,
Yeah,
it
nah.
was good." Da, 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 da,
nah.
da. Now this was 2000 and either 2009, somewhere,
Yeah. Nah, most definitely.
somewhere around that
In the
gap.
early 2010s.
Yeah, true,
Let's
true.
just say
2011.
2012 was when we did the Much Music thing,
Yeah,
right?
2012.
So let's just say that 2012 came and John hits me up on Twitter, DMs me on Twitter. He's like, "Yo, we're having a competition at Much Music. We would love for you to join us for this competition, right? Because in my like how I looked at it, that was like because I knew jerking choreography you guys are good at, but I feel like there's something missing with your crew. You know what I mean? Because all you guys are jerkers. Don't get me. Fro
Mhm.
was like the only
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Fro loved the twins and
Yeah.
I love the twins, so that's why I knew
Yeah, exactly.
me and him were
man.
gonna
Yeah,
be like
yeah.
something else, you know. So, and then where was the practice? Coxwell was it? At the
Yeah.
community
Maxwell
center?
at that community
Yeah.
center.
So like they're like, "Yo, it's coming to Coxwell."
It was
Well,
funny. It was in a hood. Dude. We didn't
True,
even know.
true.
You didn't know when we went there as goods
everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so imagine me traveling from the west going all the way to Coxwell, you know, for the rehearsal
Yeah,
and stuff like
exactly,
that.
man.
And that's pretty much like, and to be honest, I think I was only there for like, I was supposed to be there for just the Much Music thing, but we didn't expect
You know,
everything to take off
yeah, exactly.
afterwards. I think after that is when I was like officially like a member with
Nah,
Happy Feet. So
nah, most definitely. You
Yeah.
know, I got to summarize this into like one question because of a lot of the content that we have.
Uh-huh.
But like, you know, you talked about like releasing the videos on YouTube, dancing for like these various events and creating content back then. So how was like everything like, like with releasing videos on YouTube to, dancing in various like events back then and like, even with the Mick Boogie and like the Much Music opportunities, like what were like those experiences like and how is it like, even being showcased within like those platforms and creating content from then like versus like now and all that?
The thing is that when we came into the whole YouTube thing, right? And then we had all these other groups like showcasing like jerking and stuff like that. We wanted our ish to be different.
Yeah.
So whenever we would do a video, it would have to be something happening. And what I mean by that is that we would have a storytelling of such and such, this and that happened. Whatever the story is, we had like Halloween specials, Christmas specials.
Yeah, exactly.
We had like certain members like, oh, I lost my powers, or some stupidness. But
exactly.
either way, all I'm saying is that we always had a storytelling. You know what I mean? And then that's what gravitated our audience, and that's what built our fan base. Is because like people were mainly gravitated to a story because it's like it's what happens next. What happens next? It's not just these guys are just gonna go hop, put that's in front of the camera, just be like just do your move.
Yeah.
You know, that eventually gets boring.
Yeah.
The visual eye is just like they're not gonna be
Yeah.
paying to something for like less than like 5-10 minutes if they're not interested.
Yeah.
You have to hook you have to hook the viewer in within like
Yeah.
3 minutes. Because if you don't, you already lost your viewership, So
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like different back then because like monetization and all that. Because monetization was like very easy back then. Now it's like you need like to be in a YouTube subscriber program, get like 1K followers, get like a lot of like watch
Yeah.
hours and all that. And but like
Yeah.
for you guys, you built like a following like on Facebook and YouTube and like being at
Mhm.
these events and the
Mhm.
views and the likes, like way before Instagram, it
Mhm.
led you to opportunities to dancing, like in the Mike Boogie like music video and all that,
Mhm.
dancing for like much music like on a very like big platform, and
Mhm.
just like even being in those experiences. So and like even like dancing in Caravana too. So
Mhm.
how was like that vibe like and that experience?
Vibe. Each of those vibes are all different. Like the Mike Boogie vibe, we couldn't even believe it. We just went to some place out in like I don't even know how far we went, like Saga, and then we were just someplace, and then they were just beautiful women, beautiful like video vixen. Like I'm like, okay, this is like the legit ish, you know? They came with the camera with the tracks that's going the real. It's like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
action, like real shit. And I'm just like, yo, this is big time.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my god. And like the girls gravitated towards us. They liked
Yeah.
us still. And then it's like Toon Cake show dance. And then they're playing in the dressing room. The girls are all doing their makeup. The ones that were finished, it's like, yeah, so do a dance. And they're playing rock the boat. Like the girls are listening to the rock, you know how
Exactly, yeah,
girls
yeah.
they bump their R&B and things.
Yeah.
So they listen to rock the boat. It's like, let's see you dance to this, dance to this. I'm just like, fuck. Then I just started like going low key copying the
Yeah,
Ashanti,
exactly,
not
man.
Ashanti, the Aaliyah choreography.
Mhm.
And then I was just like grinding it. I was like, yeah, okay, I like him.
True,
I
true,
like him.
man.
Like, oh boy. But yeah, that was a vibe. And then we did Harborfront. Harborfront was another vibe, and we went to the like Center Island, we danced on the
Yeah,
beach.
exactly,
You
man.
know,
Yeah,
we
man.
gravitate, we drew out a crowd just easily just by
Yeah.
doing that. And we were in a lineup. They were in a lineup lining up for some water or something like that because it was blazing hot. And then we danced there, and everyone's like, hey, yeah, and everyone's like, you know, feeling it and whatnot. And then Caravana, people already knew who we were. Even the people from the States, even people from the goons, the girls, everything, the whole shebang,
Exactly,
the
man.
Jamaicans, you know what I mean? Even Jamaican dancehall dancers that didn't really like our style of dance. I don't know what it was with dancehall versus hip hop. They think that, you know, you don't have the sauce when it comes to dancehall versus hip hop. It's just like, yo, as a dancer, you have to be like, know music musically, you know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
No, exactly.
What does it say to you? How does it make you feel? How does it make you want to move? You know what I mean? You don't have to move like
Yeah, man.
the dance hall way to move. How to,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
to a Vibes
exactly, man.
Cartel or a Movado tracker type thing.
True, true.
But yeah, everyone knew us at Caravana. Like it was a whole vibe,
Yeah.
and yeah, all of that was like it was fun. I would say Caravana was actually really fun because like I met people that I never even known, and everyone's like starstruck. And then I met haters that legit hated me, and I'm just like, why? Like, mans were just like, yo, I'm gonna rob this guy. Yo, he's waste, he's this is that. He's like, but why though? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, luckily for me, I have too many connects, so people just like, yo, leave Tune alone. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, it's
Nah.
crazy, yo. It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, same vibe for you, man.
So what was the question again? Oh.
Like just like being in these like opportunities and like the experience, was it like a very great experience in that
Man.
sense?
I'm gonna say this here, and I'll probably say this till the day I die. Like, if it wasn't for these guys, I don't know where my career would have been, you know. And I say that because, like, um, it's not that I never believed in anything. It's just that, like, these guys, it took me to another level that I didn't think I could reach. And it all started with the Much Music, the first competition
Yeah,
ever.
exactly.
Because again, we already went in there with fans. I think like 90% of the audience were there for Happy Feet.
Entire venue.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah,
whole
man.
venue was there for Happy Feet. And
Yeah.
again, I'm the new guy. So like I'm still new to everything that's going on around. And for us to do our thing and to, you know, make it through the next round and to have people like cheering us on and like, you know, people like being like, yo, like dapping me up, like, yo, congratulations,
Yeah,
da, da, da,
exactly,
da.
man.
And then I didn't even told you guys this, but like what made it even like more emotional for me was the fact that like after that competition, we kind of went separate ways. Like I went back home, right?
Yeah.
I kid you not. When I enter my neighborhood, I had at least about 7 people because I live in a townhouse. So I'm walking, and you got people like up in the balcony and stuff like that. They're like, yo, Carlos, I saw you on TV. Yo, I saw you on TV. Yo, yo, yo. And for me to walk in my neighborhood, I have people cheering me on, saying congratulations. there isn't a better feeling than that because now I'm just like, yo, now it's gonna go out. Like it's gonna
Yeah. You're
take
like the
off.
neighborhood
Pop.
hero in that sense,
Yeah.
you know?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
Like
man.
in that little small moment, like yo, I felt good.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
you know, like, yo, people actually support.
The same thing happened.
Yeah.
Same
Like,
thing.
You know, people-
like you're the neighborhood hero and all that, you know, like you're always gonna get that hood love regardless. You're gonna have like shorties
yeah.
like trying to like, you know, cop a bubble, like all that
yeah,
type of
no,
stuff.
and then you know, and then again, like time moves on where
Yeah.
you don't know, because again, we did a lot in that 1 year where it's like, okay, so we did the Much Music thing, and then we went to Manifesto.
Yeah.
We danced there as well, and then also World of Dance, Toronto, like, and these are I guess the platforms or like the stages that like I wish I danced in. Now next thing you know, fast forward, I'm on these stages. So I think for me, that's like a highlight or my biggest highlights, I would say for sure. Yeah.
Most definitely. I feel like a lot of these questions right there, like I think we're gonna have to do like a part 2 on this like very soon because this is more so on the happy feet like situation on like the history and story. I think everything else might be for
Mhm.
another day too. So like I think I want to get into like the main important questions for a bit too. So
Mm.
what were some initial reasons why like Happy Feet came to an end? And when did you guys know when it would actually like come to an end?
Uh,
You wanna go for that one?
One of the main reasons why Happy Feet came to an end was because of a lot of ego, a lot of, personal issues, a lot of like, you know, you do this, I do this, I'll get back this. Even girls got into the mix and mans were like fighting over girls and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? People didn't certain members didn't really like other members because of, their girl following or whatever case have you what may. So it was like a lot of that and a lot of like people talking in their ear like yo you're
Mhm.
better than them blah 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 all this
Yeah.
type of thing. So we broke up because of those things and people thought that like certain members thought that they can do their own thing. Shout out to everyone doing their own thing, no shade, but like in that point in time, it was just like, yo, we're trying to move as a unit. We're not trying to move as individually. We're not known individually.
Yeah.
You know, maybe on the street, whatever. But you know what I mean? Like we need to, move past this. And then fortunately we couldn't have that. Too many naysayers and like, problems with the manager and
Yeah.
saying that, oh, this is how you should move. TV
Yeah,
lances,
yeah.
like you have
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
like this
Change
Yeah.
like
your
cut down the
character.
members, dress a certain
Yeah.
way. They were trying
Yeah.
to like
It was like more
Yeah.
corporate like in a sense.
yeah,
too,
trying to
Yeah, no.
incorporate us,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it was crazy because we were doing all these events, right?
Mhm.
And people thought we were superstars, and we were moving like TLC. No, like
Yeah.
shit, you
We
not.
really were.
We were like everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, but it's like we have no money. Have no money.
Yeah.
I'm still begging for bus fare, fam.
Yeah.
Yo, you have bus fare to go back? Yo, I got you.
Oh,
You know, it was
shit.
that type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So
bro.
Yeah.
it was crazy, man. There's a lot of things happening there, and like
Yeah.
certain members wanted things to pop off more. We wanted to make more bread,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
we can feed ourselves and feed our
Definitely.
wardrobes, and and so we
Yeah,
could do more
exactly.
dance videos
Yeah.
and link up and do all these things because like from the moment we hit Much Music
Yeah.
and all those things started happening.
Yep.
You would think that we get a
Yeah.
little bit of more revenue,
Yeah,
like
most
we're
definitely.
more seen in the
Yeah.
public eye.
Yeah.
Like, come on now, like
Yeah.
we're not TLC. TLC is big, but they have no money. We
Yeah.
want money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you need that foundation to build yourself up.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Like what are you gonna do? Like, and the label's paying for everything. It's like you're just a puppet. And it's like
Yeah.
Woody Woodpecker.
I'll
Like,
say it like this, and I'll always will say it like this. I feel like we were the modern new edition, and I'm gonna say it like because of the fact that we did our thing. Don't get me wrong. People loved who we were and loved our brand and everything like that. But as a new guy, also observing things, I feel like people took a lot of advantage of that too.
Yeah.
They wanted to. They really really didn't want to. Like want to. People didn't want to pay us for their events, right? And again, that is a problem because like yo, we are literally traveling
from A to B.
A to B. Like we're going up by Vaughn, like
Taking a TTC.
you know what I'm saying? Like we're going far, and then again, like what Toon was saying earlier too, like with the whole egos, and I think there were some personal problems from before. Again, I didn't really knew too much about because again, I'm the new guy, so I can't say too much of too much. I just know what I'm seeing. And I started noticing that um at certain events where we would be at, some members aren't kicking it with the rest of the
Yeah,
members. They're doing like their own
yeah,
thing. And then at first you'd be like, okay, that's cool. Like he wants to. But then it happens more and more and more. And then you'd be like, okay, now what is going on? Because now you can see by the vibe that there is a problem going on. And then also, especially like with what 2K was saying, like from what I knew, they wanted him to get out of his character. I remember that perfectly. It's like
You can't take the man out of the character and all that,
it's
or the
like
character out of the man.
it's like they're saying like, yo, you're not like we like this, but we think if you change from that to something else, you might.
Blow up in that sense too, yeah. And it's not gonna work that way because
Yeah.
usually if you have your own like signature style and all that, like I think everything's like discussed already in the videos and everything else too. Tune is tune, you are you. Like
But the problem with that is, again, me looking in, it was like some of us were also agreeing to it,
oh,
you know, but then we came to our senses also, where it's just like we're not gonna change who he is. Fuck for what?
mm,
I mean, that's how I looked at it. I was like,
yeah.
yo, for what? You know what I'm saying? But I think that is where the problem was. And then again, like the money situation also, because, there were some situations that happened where we had to like put money towards something and some of us didn't want to because we don't have jobs. So the fact that we have to like put half of money towards that, we're like, nah, we don't want to do that
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we're
Mhm.
struggling. you
Right.
know? So, and then there are also like, because you also have some affiliated people with us, like two of them, right?
Uh,
And then
you don't
some
want
of
to
us had to come, some of us like we split, like made two teams
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
invite more people in, and then that wasn't a good fit.
Mhm.
So it was just until New Year's, I guess we all kind of figured out that like, yo, we're just gonna separate. So
No,
yeah.
I definitely agree, man. And life, after like Happy Feet, it's like kind of like a different thing like from then. So what were your lives like since then? And do you guys have like anything that you like guys? Oh, sorry. Tell me like what you guys do now, like in that sense.
Hmm. Well, after Happy Feet, I tried to form my own group of my own that had like two rappers and another dancer, like myself. And that didn't really go all too well because again, everybody wanted their own thing. And it's like, then why want to form a group if you're gonna go and do your own thing? And man, certain members were just smoking and they just didn't want to do anything. I don't knock people for smoking, but it's a difference when it's like having an impact on the things that you want to fulfill. Like you want to chase your goals, you want to chase your dreams, but how the f you're gonna do that if you're gonna be smoking all the time and just be kick up and roll the next one? Like, you know what I mean? That's a lazy attitude. You're not gonna really excel. So it was that, and then I just branched off and just do and started my own thing, which I'm doing now. It's Toon time.
Oh, true, true.
So I have like I'm forming a clothing line coming. So I'm gonna have shirts, hoodies, and whatnot, and things like that. Just promoting myself, promoting my character, and things like that. Um, the other member is like Abstract. He went full father mode. Fro, he's actually doing really good.
Yeah,
Like I'm actually really proud of the
yeah.
kid. He's doing videography.
Yeah.
He did videos for Waka Flocka. Such a like some big names in the industry. He did a even World Star video, and he's doing some for like Toronto artists
Yeah,
and
exactly, man.
videos for Six Buzz. And then John, he went full fledged with the whole rap scene and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And he's kind of like a whole like he's a different type of rapper.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I wouldn't say obscure, but like very artistic type
Like
of rapper.
like Chaz French, like Brockhampton type stuff.
Yeah,
I've heard the stuff.
Challenging,
I
yeah.
mean, he's doing good right now
Yeah,
with the whole like Raptors anthem and like working with Dom and like having like
Yeah.
big features and all that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
He's doing this whole like John hipster rapper
yeah,
type of
man.
thing. And he's been doing real well with that. He did like I think he went like overseas, like France, not France, Germany, but like one of those
Yeah,
places like Europe,
yeah,
Was it
maybe even
LA?
UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
LA.
then he was having a huge following there. So I'm just like, oh damn,
LA
and this nigga
too.
got verified. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
damn, like you know what I mean?
Exactly, bro.
Like,
True, man.
I personally feel that Fro should be verified too, but
Yeah,
everyone
Yeah.
has their day. So I'm
Exactly,
just
man.
like, what? I'm proud of my man, them. I'm proud of my boys,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
like
man.
no shade against them or anything like that. Like,
Always love.
I would always want my people to excel at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly,
mean?
bro.
So
Yeah, man.
I'm doing my thing. John's doing his thing. Fro's doing his thing. Abstract is father mode.
Yeah,
And yeah, yo.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And yo,
Carlos doing his
So what happened after Happy Feet? It was a roller coaster, I think as soon as I felt that we were dying down with the team, I started my own little dance crew because when we were pretty much on the rise, we had a guy mentoring us by the name of Lenny Lynn, and I pretty much took whatever he taught us. I did it with my students, right? So we did everything. Like we practiced a lot. I would take them to events in Hubbard College and after school events like church events and stuff like that. Have them perform, have them getting paid, taken care of, make sure they get home safe, all that stuff. And I guess once the next year came, 2013, like it was a very tough like I would say it was a struggle because of the fact that like one of my best friend's mother passed away and she was like a second mom to me, right?
yeah,
And then on top of that, my grandfather passed away too, and then I got sick with lupus. So like it was just like a whole battle. But eventually like man's got better and then started taking care of myself more and stuff like that. And what's happening for me now is like, I'm doing my thing too, doing pretty much almost everything that I can,
yeah, no,
like doing
exactly, bro.
photography here and there, videography here and
Yeah,
there,
exactly, bro.
dancing whenever I can, pretty much.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, no, I don't know if you remember too, but like during the pandemic, we actually had like a reunion type of thing. I don't know if you remember that. We did a
Mhm.
video call. It was me, you, John, bro, during the
We did.
pandemic.
I don't remember.
We did a FaceTime call. All
Oh
of
yeah,
us.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
did like a
bro.
FaceTime call, right?
Yeah,
And like
Yeah.
so actually I took a screenshot of that because that's when like there is, even though with what happened in those times, like there's
Yeah.
still love with all of us
Yeah,
because like
exactly, man.
we're all growing up now, right? So
Yeah.
and yeah, and like he said, like I'm always proud to hear or see like one of us doing something good, because then it's like if they're making it, then we're all making it
Yeah,
still, regardlessly.
exactly,
So
bro,
that's
yeah.
how I feel.
Most definitely. We just have like some of these like questions like left for a bit too. Since we do have to go soon.
Yes,
But
sir.
how do you guys feel about the Toronto and GTA creative scene at the moment? Do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to, or do you feel like it's
This
fine
This
the
is
way
the
it
one
is?
I wanted to go off on.
Go ahead, Toon.
Right. The difference compared to what was it again? It was
Like like the Toronto GTA scene and like I think like how is it like now versus like back then?
okay.
Would you say like there should be
Yeah.
some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to?
Yeah. There should most definitely be changes because back in the day, everyone was like working together. Everyone was like more, you scratch my back, I scratch
Unity.
yours type thing. Everyone was on the grind, you know what I mean? And everyone's like really supportive of each other. And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, come to my event, I come to your event.
Yeah.
Or I'll show you about this next event that's even a bigger event and ray. Now it's just like a lot of Toronto artists they move with this Hollywood mentality and they think they're the shit, they're above everybody else. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, bro, humble yourself because you know what I mean? No one has time for that. No one wants to work with someone that is like not even that big. You know what I mean? There's good artists and then there's bad artists, you know what I mean? And like not to throw shade or anything, but a lot of the bad artists, they have the most Hollywood like mentality. It's like, bro, if you're not making moves like Drake or even Smiley, like Smiley's doing his thing too, And if you're not like one in those levels, then you shouldn't be moving the way that you're moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like humble yourself. Like
exactly.
you're not that great. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that like artists should be working more together because instead of against each other, you know what I mean? Toronto has this hate thing now, like really passionate, like it just burns in their veins. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, dog, I hate this guy. Yo, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. It's like, but why though? You know what I mean? And then this stuff with the rap scene and like, you know, hood politics and all that. Like I'm not into none of that ish. Like, you know what I mean? And just like, oh, why you play certain so and so's tracks, but not this track?
Yeah.
But why you play so and so track? Or you should like Northside Jane. You should like Northside Jane more than Southside Jane. It's just like, bro, I like everyone equally. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's okay to just friggin' just like the music, dog.
Yeah. No,
Like
most
at the
definitely,
end
bro.
of the day, just like the music, bro. I
Yeah.
like
No.
Bizloke. I like all those guys. Burner Brands, Pressa,
Yeah.
Doovie,
Exactly, bro.
everybody.
Yeah. No, most
Houdini,
definitely,
RP
man. Yeah.
Houdini. But
No.
like,
RP.
you know, and everyone's just against each other. Like they just need to stop this. And I just want us to be like, you know, a better. So it's like, you know, when
Yeah.
people come here, they want to work with us. There's like, you know, there's more opportunities and things like that.
Most
You
definitely,
know,
bro.
so
Yeah.
I forgot I wanted to say one more thing, but I just can't remember it.
Shoot,
Well,
shoot.
yeah, I'm just basically leave it at that. Oh yeah, just saying that about like, you know, just to make it a little comparison,
Like
like
Atlanta
the
and all
artists
that. Yeah.
is yeah, the artists in the states, Atlanta, these mans
Yeah.
work together, even if they're from the op block. They're just like, yo, F the
Yeah, man.
polys, we're just
Exactly,
doing
bro.
this. We want to make money. Boom, bam,
Yeah.
bim. You
Exactly.
Yeah.
know. But like Toronto's not really on that level. I can understand like some hood polys are
Yeah.
really intense, so they don't make certain tracks with certain artists. It's the same rule applies for the states, but
Yeah,
like, you know, if it's not as bad, then you know you can make your 1, 2 tracks. But for the ones that you can't, just you know, all right, that's fine.
yeah, man.
You know, so that's all I'm saying.
So your question was what?
Like, how do you feel about the Toronto and GTA creative scene at the moment? Do you feel that there should be some changes in the direction of where the scene should go to, or you feel like it's fine the way it is?
Um, everything that Toon Cake was saying, it's everybody. You know, like when you think of it, but then it takes for one person to say it, so he pretty much said everything. You know,
Yeah.
I had a conversation with this rapper by the name of Claremont,
True, true.
and he told me that next year, I think Toronto is going to skyrocket because even though yes, there's the hood politics, and then there's the whole beefs with
Yeah,
like each
exactly,
block and
bro.
whatever. I feel like there's gonna come to a point where we all are gonna come together. I just don't know when exactly it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen slowly. You know, only because of the fact that like we are getting older,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And
Mm.
like this.
the older we get, the more we realize like, yo, this is some dumbass shit. Like,
Yeah.
why did I hate you for? Okay, so what? You did this,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly, bro.
Just gotta talk it out like men, you know, like because we're all in it for the same reasons, you know, like maybe some people have like, okay, some want to just be rich, some want to be famous, cool, but like we can make a track together. That's not a
Yeah.
problem, you know. We can
Yeah.
both explode, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
honestly, I think we can do it
Yeah.
personally because of the fact that like perfect example, like John, he had
A good
this
infrastructure, like good people around him, and like even with the label
not
team.
only that, but he back then like he also had a art gallery, right, going on by
Yeah,
the name
yeah.
of Blank
Yeah,
Canvas.
yeah.
Like, and that is where you had discovered so many talents in the city, you know?
True, true.
And that is what I think we're gonna be waiting for is the hidden talents because there's so many talents in the city,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's just that like again, with some of us, we don't feel comfortable, you know, performing or don't feel comfortable like being ourselves because of like you still got, you know, most of the guys talking about being in a trap, which okay, I get it. That's your story, you know? But what about the others?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Kanye West said this best. In my hood, the dope boys are the rock stars. That's how I feel like in the city. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not talking about being in a trap, then I feel like you're not gonna get too far. But if
Yeah.
you talk about like the real shit, people are gonna kind of look at you and be like, what is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? But again, I do feel like we can get together really,
Yeah.
really and truly. So
Yeah, most definitely. Just to end off with these last two questions, do you guys have any regrets in your life overall, or do you regret nothing? And do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say for the audience?
Mhm. Um, well, we live life. You know what I mean. There's a lot of things that I do regret, but
definitely.
that's in everybody. You know what I mean. There's a lot of things I do regret. Um, kind of do no, not kind of do. I do regret, the group breaking up and stuff like that. I strongly do believe we actually would have been like one of Toronto's most biggest stars right now. To be honest, no cab, I kid you
Definitely.
not.
Definitely.
But everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sucks that it ended like this. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And then
Like your closing remarks?
closing remarks. Closing remarks. Shout out to everybody that supports me. You already know it's Toon time. It is what it is. I'm gonna be having like more videos dropping and stuff like that. I'm just being on a an internet break right now. Shout out to Slim. Shout out to Fro. Shout out to Abstract. Shout out to you. Shout out to my bro Blake West. You know what I mean? Shout out everybody that, supports me and fucks with me. And yeah. 2023 is going to be a very different year. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah, my clothing line is coming out soon, so yeah,
Yeah, man.
soon time. Expect the
time.
unexpected.
Mhm. Fuck regrets. Um, there's so many to list, but I would definitely say, nah, not being more confident and more motivated to actually work on what I wanted to work on. You know what I mean? Because I feel like,
Yep.
you know, sometimes we wait for a certain spark or something to just be like, oh shit, like I can actually get up and
Yeah.
do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's where my biggest regret is because like I had so many setbacks. Again, it's life. You go through life, you go through certain situations where you just be like, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to like stop doing this or whatever, whatever. And I think that is another regret where it's like when you know you have the passion for something, when you know you are known for something, continue that. And I think that's where,
Mm-hmm.
again, that's where I was lost at because now I'm over here trying to do so many things. And I'm thinking, like, yo, if I had just continued with it, maybe I could have, you know what I'm saying? But that's just how it is, you know what I'm saying? So like again, like I'm still happy. I'm still proud of my accomplishments, even though there's a lot more to fulfill. But from right now, like I'm still appreciative of that. Again, I'll always be appreciative of these guys of again taking me under the wing because like they could have just not hit me up or be like, "Yo, you're part of the family. Like, let's do it." You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely, bro.
And what was the last thing? The last
Closing remarks.
closing remarks, man. Just be yourself. Just wait on me. Wait on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
Most
expect
definitely.
Yeah,
unexpected.
yeah.
Because again, next
Mm-hmm.
year, next year,
It's gonna be a different year, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
you have no
Yeah.
idea. You have no
True,
idea
true.
what's gonna
Yeah.
hit you. You know. So
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
just
guys.
all I gotta
Yeah.
say is just be on the defense because I'm gonna be attacking. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
that's about it.
All I gotta say is be who you wanna be, not what others wanna see.
Of course.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, most definitely.
And don't drink the Kool Aid.
Yo, most definitely, fam. Yo, you guys gotta drop the ads right now for people who want to follow you and all that. You know.
You could follow me on Twitter, social media following. On Instagram, it's toon.kaneki or toonkaneki. You'll find me either
Yeah,
way. As
so-
soon as you start typing Toon, you're gonna see me. Like TOONKANEKI. Um, and same thing for Twitter. It's the same thing. You can also find me on Facebook if you use that shit, cause no people really be using Facebook nowadays. That's all I'm saying. And then TikTok, I had a TikTok off of Toon Kaneki, now it's Toon Shiesty. So
True, true.
yeah, you can find me easily. Everyone knows I spell Shiesty. So yeah.
True, true.
I think for me, it's just I think everywhere I should be the same. If not, just follow me on Instagram. under Suave Casero, SuaveCassiero. And that's where you can find me. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Carlos, Toon, thank you for giving like this legendary interview and all that. Just speaking a lot of gems. We could have asked more questions, but with timing and everything like that, and even
Yeah.
with the questions too, there has to be like a part two.
Let's do a
So-
part 2, man. I'm down for that. If you're
Yeah,
down for that.
we'll see.
yeah, because there was like a lot to take in and all that. So like, regardless, and thank you for everyone that was watching for this like legendary interview that will be dropping soon. This is episode 23 of TLOY Talks. You could stream
Yeah.
it like anywhere once it gets released. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, like Sounder too. When you get your podcast, like when it drops and all that. And yeah, I'd like definitely tap in with them. Check out their YouTube channel back then. You'll definitely see a lot of dope videos. And this is
Yeah.
Josh, also known as Yashu, with Suave and Tune of episode 23 of TLOY Talks, signing off.
Yeah. Bow.
Yeah, man.
Bow, bow, bow.